Ah, I wonder who makes this. This is the DYNAFIT Alpine. It's the first shoe from DYNAFIT that I reviewed on this channel, but now after a few months running in the shoe, it's certainly not going to be the last. The Alpine is a low-slung, lightweight, flexible, and fast shoe designed to provide you enough protection and comfort for races and speedier efforts. The upper mesh is covered in a good amount of welded overlays. The midsole is a soft yet responsive layer of cushion, reminiscent of a Solomon Scent series shoe. Skinny, stretchy laces, a heel preloaded strap, and gusseted tongue work together on fit, while the Vibram outsole guarantees grip. Is the Alpine from DYNAFIT, a company renowned for its skimo and mountain gear, able to compare against direct competition like the Scent Pro or the North Face Vective series? Is DYNAFIT doing enough to help the Alpine stand out? Well, we hope to answer some of those questions in today's review. Let's dive in.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. I'm excited about today's review because I have never reviewed a product from this brand. We're talking about DYNAFIT, specifically the DYNAFIT Alpine. So I've actually been really excited about this brand for a long time. One of my favorite YouTube channels, Mediocre Amateur, a couple of those guys wear all DYNAFIT gear and they have a lot of experience with skimo, mountaineering, and trail running. It was about time that I got a DYNAFIT trail running shoe into rotation. So let me first start, as always, by mentioning that this shoe was provided for review by DYNAFIT. I'm under no obligation to say anything positive or negative about the review. I'm not financially compensated for this review. No one has to approve it. You are the first to see it. Let's start talking about it. As you probably know by now, every product that I review, I usually talk about the things that I like and dislike. The DYNAFIT Alpine is no exception. Let's start talking about the things that I like. Light and fast. That is the first thing that I really noticed about this shoe, is just how dynamic it is, how much it really wants to propel you forward. Lightweight, I guess, is sort of relative. It's about 11 ounces in my size 11, 313 grams, which isn't on the lightest end of the spectrum, but compared to heavier duty, really durable shoes out there in the trail running realm, 11 ounces is doing okay. I think with this shoe, the sensation of feeling light, feeling fast is really what won me over. I just like putting it on my feet, feeling like I have a tempo day or a day where I'm going to be working on intervals or hill repeats or something. Not doing a ton of distance, but perhaps just focusing more on the speedier efforts. That is where this shoe just really comes alive. It's light, it's fast. It's also still fairly flexible while providing enough protection underfoot, which actually brings me to my next like, the protection. So despite the fact that I feel that the shoe is sort of oriented more towards the faster efforts, the higher tempo efforts, speedier workouts, or races, it still provides you with the protection that you need. I've seen that from other shoes that sort of dive into that lighter weight realm. They don't provide the protection, they don't last a long time. This is holding up really well. As I mentioned in the intro, the shoe is covered in welded overlays. So you're getting all sorts of toe protection, side of the foot protection, both laterally and medially. There's enough protection underfoot with the Vibram outsole to protect you from rocks, sharp rocks, and different technical terrain. I really like the tongue. One, because it's gusseted, but two, it has this really soft kind of cushion to it without being overly bulky. So what happens is the shoe covers your foot in a protective way without being intrusive or feeling like you have too much on your foot. It does a good job of it. And finally, the Vibram outsole. Vibram Mega Grip has been one of my favorite outsole compounds now for a long time. If you've watched my reviews over the years, you know that anytime a shoe has a Vibram outsole, I tend to get excited about it, and I tend to recommend it because of the amount of grip that the shoe has. There's a lot of other rubber compounds out there. Some are good, some are not. Vibram Mega Grip tends to be one that I do favor. We've got it here, and I'm excited about that. That is another reason why I think this shoe is a successful shoe. It just allows it to work in a lot of different terrain and weather conditions. It's holding up as well as Mega Grip has held up, so quite well. So overall, I'm really liking the grip in the shoe. The Vibram outsole is a wonderful choice by DYNAFIT. That being said, it's not all peanut butter cups and massage guns hitting those pressure points. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the DYNAFIT Alpine. Let's get to those now. Fit. This is probably going to be the one area where this shoe may not work for a lot of people. While there were days where I did end up making it work and I didn't feel like it was such an issue, there were other days where the fit was an issue and something that was really kind of driving me crazy. First and foremost, you're going to need to size up. I normally wear a size 11 pretty much across the board. There's only been a few instances where I've had to really adjust that. I wear a size 12 to 12.5 in the DYNAFIT Alpine. That was a surprise for me with the brand. Again, not having reviewed them in the past. It could be because they're coming from the ski boot realm, the skimo realm, where sizing can be all over the board, but very precise when you get it right. So perhaps that's the case here. Regardless, you're going to need to size up. 1, to get you a shoe that is long enough for your foot, and 2, to get you a shoe with enough volume to accommodate your foot. In addition, I really dislike these laces. I don't think they do the shoe any justice. They're very round and stretchy and thin. It's hard to get a good tie down in the shoe. Also, because there's not enough eyelets for you to do any sort of heel lock or specialty lacing. It just doesn't really want to lock down. So what I do find is that around the ankle collar, you do get fluctuation in fit. That has ultimately been my biggest dislike with the shoe. So it's gonna take some getting used to if you haven't worn DYNAFIT in the past. And finally, drop. The DYNAFIT Alpine has a 6mm drop, which is not extreme by any means. I do tend to favor the 4mm drop. It just tends to be sort of what I prefer. But here, I think with the 6mm drop plus their sort of rocker technology that they advertise and market, it feels much higher. It almost feels like a 10mm drop shoe. It's one of those instances where I felt like I was leaning forward in the shoe. And when you're running in it, you do tend to want to scuff your heel a bit more just because the drop and the angle is a bit more extreme, or at least it feels as such. It's not going to bother a lot of people, but for me, it was something I noticed right out of the box. The shoe does feel better now that I have broken it in, probably around 55, 65 miles or so. You're gonna feel like your heel is certainly lifted above the forefoot. Some people, that won't bother. For me, I noticed it. But that is pretty much it for dislikes. So at this point, I like to get a little bit more specific, talk about 5 different criteria with the shoe: build quality, comfort, fit, price, and looks. Let's go ahead and dive in there now. Talking about build quality, I do think DYNAFIT is renowned in the skimo world and mountaineering world for creating really good, top quality gear for mountain experiences. While I don't have a lot of experience in their trail running line, I hope to remedy that. They do have a lot of different trail running shoes and packs and all sorts of things. I do think that the DYNAFIT Alpine is a really good indication of what to expect. It's high quality, it's a durable shoe, it's holding up really, really well, using high quality materials like Vibram outsole and the mesh and all the different materials that they're using in the upper has created a really durable, well-built shoe. It's a good thing. Comfort. I do like this midsole. I think the midsole provides you with enough resiliency, responsiveness, and a subtle cushion. It's very reminiscent of a Salomon Sense Pro or some of the other Salomon Sense series shoes. It's going to be one of those shoes that really wants to propel you forward quickly, efficiently. It's not going to bog you down with added weight or added cushion that sort of loses that energy or propulsion. So far, comfort is actually doing quite well. I also really like the gusseted tongue. I think that feels really good, despite the fact you don't really get a good lace down. Fit. This is the shoe's biggest weakness. As I mentioned, you're going to have to size up, not by a little, probably by a lot. And you're not going to get a great lockdown with the laces. I don't think that this heel preloader, as they're calling it, does a great job of locking your heel in. I found that my heel wanted to kind of slide in and out from time to time. So fit, I think, is the biggest drawback with the shoe. Once you get a good lockdown, I mean, I hope it stays. Price. The shoe is priced right now at $139. I think it's a little bit steep, but at the same point, we're seeing so many different trail shoes kind of come in around that price point. So I'm not going to really hate on it for being at $139. Again, it is also a boutique brand, more known in the skimo realm, so I kind of anticipated it being a bit more of an expensive shoe. I am intrigued by the DYNAFIT Ultra 100, which is priced around the same, it's supposed to have more cushioning underfoot, probably be closer to the North Face Vective Endurus versus this, which is maybe closer to the Flight Vective without the carbon plate. So at $139, I think it's a decent price point for the shoe that you get. Fast, fun, grippy, it's got a lot of good things going for it. And finally, looks. I actually really like what DYNAFIT is doing here. If you just scroll through the DYNAFIT website, they have all this gear, you know, again, packs, jackets, ski gear. I think it all looks really good. I think DYNAFIT has a really great design department. They choose bright colors. They have really nice designs for their shoes. It is, again, reminiscent of Salomon stuff, but it's also exciting and a bit innovative, which I really enjoy. Biggest gripe is that the insoles of these shoes say no pain, no gain. As a trail runner, I just don't think that message really works. The last thing I would ever want to do is tell someone, hey, you're experiencing pain, you got to just keep pushing. It's the only way you're going to get better. Of course, when you're talking about workouts and things like that, yeah, you know, there's pain you can push through, but as an overall motto or message that you want to deliver through your trail running gear, cringe. So, in conclusion, the DYNAFIT Alpine is a lot more fun than I expected. It's a perfect example of if the Salomon Sense Pro and Salomon Sense Ride had a little baby with a Vibram diaper. I think that's sort of what you're going to be getting out of this shoe. It's fun, it's fast, it's quick, it's fairly lightweight, flexible, but providing you with enough responsiveness to propel you. While I don't recommend it for the longer distance stuff, I certainly have a lot of fun doing anything from 6 to 12 miles in the shoe. However, it does suffer from sizing issues and fitment issues. Some will be able to look past. Some will not, however. What the Alpine does do is gets me excited about the Ultra 100. Which is another shoe from DYNAFIT that has a bit more cushioning underfoot, maybe a bit more protection over the top, and is meant for those longer efforts. So that shoe, hopefully I'll get my hands on it, my feet into it, and toss it through the Ginger Runner Gauntlet and get a review going for you as well. That, however, brings us to our final criteria. Is the DYNAFIT Alpine a buy, try, or a why? Just really distilling it down to the most basic of criteria. I would say this is a clear and solid try. It's a new brand for me. When it comes to trail running, it's probably a new brand for you. Some of you might already have your feet and shoes from DYNAFIT, but if you have not, consider it. I'm excited to see what else they do. I hope they continue to push into the trail running scene more and more. It reminds me a bit of what Pearl Izumi did years ago. Really made a splash on the scene. People really dug their shoes. I just hope that DYNAFIT just doesn't disappear from the scene, because I think what they're doing here is good, and I'm excited to see what's around the corner. So, solid try. And that, my friends, is it for today's review. Let me know what you think about the DYNAFIT Alpine or any of the DYNAFIT shoes in the comments of this video. Let us know if you're running in them, or if it's a brand that you trust or you're excited about, stuff like that, as always. And we'll wrap it up there. Make sure you subscribe, do all that good stuff. You know how this channel works. You've been here long enough. Or maybe this is your first time watching, in which case, welcome. We'd love to have you. Join the GR crew. Links in the description. We'd love to have you be a part of the community. We have a Discord server with a book club and a trivia night and all sorts of amazing things. We go live every single day. We talk about trail running, training, injury prevention, all that good stuff right here on the channel through the GR crew community. So head on over to patreon.com/thegingerrunner. We hope you're having a fantastic build up to summer or winter, depending on where you live. That is it. We hope you're getting out there training hard, racing harder, and partying the hardest. I know I am. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.